10 forgotten home features we need to bring back. 100 years ago, builders solved problems in homes that we are still failing to solve today. They figured out how to handle package deliveries, how to move laundry between floors without breaking your back, how to keep your kitchen organized when you were entertaining, and how to ventilate a house without running a single mechanical system. And then, somewhere along the way, the design world decided all of us, we were outdated and removed all of it. 10 of these features are now coming back into the highest end homes being built right now. And not as nostalgia, as actual functional upgrades that solve real problems. And one of them is genuinely changing how the entire house works. Stick around, find out. Let's get into it. Number 1, the broom closet. The broom closet is the single most missed feature from the 18th century homes. An 18-inch wide, 16-inch deep, 72-inch tall, dedicated space with a single door. Designed specifically for vacuums, mops, brooms, cleaning supplies, and a half a dozen other little things that the household uses every single week. Open any modern home and look for where the cleaning equipment lives. It's shoved into a kitchen cabinet that wasn't designed for it, leaning against a wall in a garage, or taking up half a bedroom closet. None of these solutions work, and all of them create the same daily friction. A proper broom closet eliminates that friction completely. The cost to add one to a renovation is minimal. If the floor plan has the wall space, you're looking at maybe $1,000 to $2,000 for framing, drywall, paint, a door, and trim. That's it. The functionality it delivers for that price is unmatched by almost any other small renovation move. I'm literally putting them into renovations right now as we speak because people don't have them in their homes. Number 2, the milk door. Now, a package door used to be milk door, now it's a package door. This is one of those features from old homes that solves a problem that nobody had in 1940, but everyone has today. Package delivery, package theft. Doorstep deliveries getting rained on, stolen, or sitting in the sunlight for 8 hours. A milk door was a small insulated compartment built into the exterior wall with 2 doors, one on the outside, one on the inside. They interlocked so that they couldn't be open at the same time. The delivery person opened the outside, placed the items in, and closed it. You opened the inside and retrieved them. Standard in homes from the 1890s through the 1950s. The 2026 version of this is a significant upgrade and showing up in higher-end new builds right now. A company called Fresh Portal makes a system with temperature control, UV sterilization, and smart locks that generate one-time access codes for delivery drivers. Other brands are building similar systems. The infrastructure to install one of these runs about $3,000 to $8,000 depending on the unit and the wall it's going into. In a market where Amazon, Instacart, grocery delivery, and landing these things on your doorstep multiple times a week, a built-in package door is really the most practical exterior renovation upgrade I've seen in years. Number 3, transom windows. These are the horizontal windows above interior doors in older homes. And they solved 2 problems at once that we now spend significant money to solve mechanically. Problem number 1, natural light into interior rooms. Hallways and inner bedrooms in older homes often had limited window access, so transoms above allowed light to pass through from one space to another, even when the door was closed. Problem 2, ventilation. Hot air rises. So, the operable transom window above a door created a natural cross flow that pulled cooler air through the house without any mechanical input. Now we're spending tens of thousands of dollars on whole house ventilation systems with lighting upgrades to do the exact thing that transom windows did in 1910. The cost of a transom window in an interior renovation could be $400 to $1,000 depending on the door, the window, the fixed glass, operable, any of those kind of options, plus framing that supports it. And the visual benefit, I think it outweighs a lot of the cost. Transom windows make ceilings feel taller, rooms feel more open, a light that comes through, and the ventilation unmatched. Number 4, the butler pantry. Now, I want to be careful here because the butler pantry has nothing to do with having a butler. But it would be nice if you did. Can I help you today? And everything to do with how you actually use a kitchen when you're entertaining or feeding a family. A butler's pantry is a transition space, usually between kitchen and dining room, that handles the work the main kitchen shouldn't really have to handle. Storage for serving dishes, prep platters, and small appliances that don't need to live on the counter. A secondary sink for cleanup during a meal. Counter space for staging food before it goes to the dining room or coming back when the meal is done. The main kitchen stays clean, presentable. The actual mess and the actual work happens in the butler pantry. A 6-foot by 8-foot butler pantry with a counter, sink, upper and lower cabinets, a dedicated electrical outlet. This could run you between $15,000 and $35,000 in a renovation, depending on the finish level. Now, I know that number sounds significant until you watch a homeowner try to host 12 people in a kitchen that has no staging zone. The functional value of this space at any household that entertains regularly, well, is substantial. Before we keep going, let me tell you something real quick. The most expensive mistakes in any renovation don't happen during demolition. They don't happen when the tile goes up or when the cabinets get installed. They happen before any of that. In the conversations you have before you sign anything, when you don't know what questions to ask and your contractor isn't volunteering the answers. I put together a free renovation playbook built from all my experience over 500 projects. It covers exactly what your estimate is probably missing. The things that show up later as change orders, surprises, budget overruns that nobody warned you about, kitchens, bathrooms, living rooms. These are the spaces where most of the money goes and most of the decisions get made. It's completely free. The link is in the description. Go grab it before you talk to anybody. Number 5, interior shutters. Plantation-style interior shutters built into the window frame and operable from the inside of the room. They're coming back big time in 2026, and for a good reason. They do 3 things that no other window treatment does at the same time. They control light, which is what people typically buy them for. They provide privacy in a way that drapery and blinds don't because they seal cleanly to the frame, and they add an insulation value, particularly to the single pane or older window installations by creating an additional thermal barrier between the glass in the room. In Florida specifically, where the afternoon sun is brutal and hurricane preparation is a real consideration, interior shutters serve a 4th function. They provide an additional layer of impact protection that softens flying debris during a storm, and they reduce solar heat gain dramatically during the summer months. The costs run anywhere from $250 to $700 per window. Installed, depending on size and material, a whole house installation can run anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000, but the energy savings, the visual impact, they're substantial. They are one of the best window treatment investments you can make, especially in a Florida home. Number 6, the hall tree. Walk into the entryway of any family home in America and you'll see the same chaos. Coats thrown over the chair backs, shoes scattered on the floor, backpacks against the wall, keys on whatever flat surface is closest. The hall tree solved all of this in one piece of built-in furniture. A proper hall tree, not the flimsy version sold in a big box store. This, a built-in entryway system, coat hooks at multiple heights for kids and adults, a bench for sitting down and putting on or taking off shoes, storage cubbies underneath for boots and bags, a small shelf for keys, mail, and whatever accumulates by the front door, designed to be the first thing you interact with when you come in the home, and the last thing when you leave. The built-in costs vary significantly based on whether it's custom built or quality freestanding unit. A custom built hall tree with full bench, storage, integrated hooks could run you anywhere from $25,000 to $7,000 depending on the size, and a high quality furniture piece might run you $1,500 to $4,000. Either version eliminates the entry chaos that costs nothing to live with except every morning, every evening, and every day. Number 7, the Dutch door. The Dutch door. Well, this is a single door split horizontally. The top and the bottom halves can be operated independently. One of the strongest 2026 trends signals coming out of luxury kitchen and mudroom space. House designers are putting them in the rear kitchen entries, on mudrooms that connect to a covered porch, and on home offices that overlook a garden. The functional argument is genuine. Open the top half to let the air and the light in while the bottom half stays closed for pets, kids, and other things to stay contained. Close both halves for full privacy or weather. It's a door that gives you 3 operating positions instead of 1. In Florida specifically, this works beautifully on a rear or side entry where you want airflow during the cooler months without committing to a full open door. A custom Dutch door installation can run $1,500 to $4,000 depending on whether it's an interior or exterior application. The materials in the hardware specification, of course. Exterior versions need to be properly weather stripped, and the horizontal joint, which is a detail that gets skipped on cheaper installations. Get that right, and a Dutch door is one of the most charming functional additions you can make to a renovation. Get that wrong? Well, and you can guess what the problems would be. Number 8, the sleeping porch. This is one specifically for anyone in a warmer market. The sleeper porch is a screened-in or partially enclosed porch designed to be slept in warmer months, and it was a standard feature in southern and Florida homes for generations before central air conditioning made it seem unnecessary. Well, it's coming back. And the reason is that designers and homeowners have figured out something the original builders knew. Sleeping outside in the fresh air, screened from bugs, protected from rain, is genuinely better for sleep quality and for the experience of living in a home with a great climate. Designer Brian Graybill described a sleeping porch as a summer lullaby. I think that's accurate. For a Florida home, a properly built-in sleeping porch with full screening, ceiling fans, weatherproofing flooring, and the right furniture probably costs you between $25,000 and $80,000 depending on the size and structure. Now I know that sounds significant, but in these markets like Naples where I'm at, where homes are usually $1.5 million or more, a well-designed sleeping porch is a genuine selling feature that connects buyers to the climate. They're moving here to enjoy that. So why not offer that space? Number 9, the dedicated charging station. This is a modern version of what the original telephone nook used to be. But I want to talk about it correctly because the casual version of this gets installed everywhere and almost never works. A proper charging station is not a power strip on a kitchen counter. It's a dedicated, built-in shelf or drawer with integrated outlets, USB-C ports, cord management, and enough surface area for the entire household's devices. Phones, tablets, laptops, smartwatches, headphones. The usual placement is in a hallway, a mudroom, or a kitchen drop zone where it is accessible without being on display, and where it solves the universal problem of devices and cables scattered across countertops and nightstands. The right way to build this into a renovation is to plan for it during the electrical rough-in. A 12-inch deep, 18-inch wide built-in shelf with 2 integrated outlets, USB-C port, could cost you anywhere from $500 to $1,500 during construction. Adding that after the walls are closed is probably 2 or 3 times as much. This is a small infrastructure decision with a daily quality of life return. I'd think about it if I was doing one. Number 10, the Dumbwaiter. This is the one, guys. This is the feature I mentioned at the start, and this is the one showing up in most serious renovation conversations I'm having right now. A dumbwaiter is a small freight elevator inside a home originally designed to move food, dishes, laundry, and supplies between floors without anyone having to carry them up and down. It was a standard in luxury homes from the 19th century through the 1930s. Fell out of favor for the safety of code reasons, and it's now back with full child safety features, fireproof enclosures, sensors, and modern electric motors that make them genuinely safe and reliable. Here is why this is the one. A designer from London just described including dumbwaiters in their 2 most recent projects specifically because clients wanted formal dining on the ground floor while keeping the actual kitchen on a lower level connected to the garden. And that's exactly the kind of multi-level architectural problem that a dumbwaiter solves elegantly. In a multi-story luxury home in Naples, the kitchen is on the main floor, but you're carrying meals, drinks, and supplies sometimes to the 2nd floor or 3rd floor, or an entertainment area down to a finished lower level. The dumbwaiter eliminates daily friction in a way that no other single feature does. The cost reality is significant and worth understanding. A residential dumbwaiter installation could go anywhere from $15,000 to $40,000, depending on the number of floors, the size of the cab, and the structural work required to add the shaft. The shaft itself has to be planned during framing and design toward opening up walls and making sure that you're ready for this. This is a feature you commit to during the planning stage of a renovation, not something you add later. But for clients building or renovating multi-level luxury homes, the dumbwaiter is one of the most genuinely useful, impressive features you can include. It's coming back, and in 2026, this is the year it crossed from historic curiosity to active luxury renovation specifications. The takeaway: 10 features, 1 common thread. The builders who designed these solutions weren't doing it for Instagram. They were doing it for real life problems for people who actually lived in their homes. Most of the problems still exist. We just stopped solving them with architecture and started solving them with apps, plastic organizers, and complaints. The renovations that hold up over decades are the ones that bring real function and real design. Some of these features cost a few $100s to add. Some of them cost tens of thousands. All of them will be appreciated every single day by whoever is living in that house. because it's really about the way that we live and the lifestyles in which we are trying to be accustomed to. Drop a comment. Tell me which one of these 10 you would add to your home, or which one I should maybe take a deeper dive on and do a video all by itself. And if I missed one and you want me to bring it back, go ahead and tell me that too. Guys, you know I read every comment, and thank you for watching Built by Becker.